is yet another live stream, and today I want to talk about passion. Um, how does one find their passion, or does passion even exist? Yeah, so today let's talk about passion and why are some people passionate and other people are not passionate? What is it really that's missing? And yeah, so let's dive in. But first, let's check if we are live. So, 1 second. Okay, I think we are. Cool. So you are going to see this word thrown around, like what is passion, or how does one find passion? Um, I can't find my passion. This is something that you're going to see um a lot, especially within like young people. So there's there's different opinions. Some people are going to tell you, well, there's no such a thing as passion, like you just do the work and passion finds you. That is what people like Bezos are going to tell you, and I think it is kind of true. And then other people are going to tell you, like, before choosing a career or anything, you have to find something you're passionate about. But what I would say is, I don't think there's such a thing as passion or what you're passionate about, as basically what Jeff Bezos usually says. I think life is a series of experiments that you run, and sometimes you're passionate, other times you're not, and that's just the way it is. Um, if you were to look at like how Bezos started, I think he used to be like in a normal job, and then he left his job. He had a bit of savings and went started working on what ended up becoming Amazon. But he started by selling books, and he was very persistent in the early days that it eventually led to something. And I wouldn't say that he was passionate about books or selling books. And so what I what I think is, you find something, you do it, and then along the way passion finds you. So right now he's working on Blue Origin. Is it Blue Origin? And they recently landed their first rocket, right? Um, I still doubt that he's passionate about landing rockets. Maybe he's passionate about making an impact, but passion is something that found him along the way, and then he rode with it. So I think some people are naturally passionate. Some people are naturally driven, and those are the people that get things done. And if you are in that state where you like, well, how do I find my passion? Um, what I would tell you is, find something that you like doing. And how do you find something that you like doing? You experiment, you try things out. Um, so I am guessing from Monday to Sunday there's like a series of things that you do, right? So there's like a series of things that you do. There's maybe school, and then there's maybe going to the library, and then there's maybe watching a movie, and then there's maybe going to the swimming pool, and then there's maybe cooking, and then there's a series of things that you probably like, and prefer. And if you find one thing that lights you up and try to pursue it, put in more extra hours, take in more sessions, take in more courses, I think passion is going to find you along the way. Maybe try and turn it into a business. Maybe, yeah, I think passion finds you along the way when you try and when you experiment. The worst thing you can do is stand still. That's the worst thing you can do. So you have to constantly experiment, to constantly try new things, to constantly be out there. I think those are the people who are always doing things, are the people who find passion or what they're passionate about. And then, like, when you find it, keep going, keep trying things out, because you never know how you're going to run, or rather, you never know if this is going to be your passion for life, right? So you still need to sort of try things out. So let's say you find out that you might be really good at boxing, right? So you're going to do boxing, but try other things as well, like try swimming, try whatever. So I think that's like how you find your passion. And it can't be fun. It cannot be fun. It has to be. It has to be. It cannot be driven by pleasure. It has to be, what is that thing that lights you up. And then one thing that is not talked about enough is how you have to be lost before you can find, your true calling, or what you meant to do with your life. You have to be lost. And some people find it early, but then when you're lost, when you ask yourself questions constantly, like if you're in this phase where you're asking yourself questions, I think you're very close. You're like, well, I might be getting close to now finding what I'm passionate about. Because what comes after questions is answers. Yeah. So that is how you find what you're passionate about, is experimenting and practicing and trying things out. Yeah. So going back, the worst thing you can do is be static or not be in motion, because I don't think if you static, anything comes to you. Like, you can't just stand in one place and expect something to find you. Like, you just static, you stand by, you're not moving. Like, if there's someone who's going to give you an opportunity, they're not going to come to you. So you can't just be stand still. You have to move towards something, you know. So that's what I think about passion. And one thing, what you're going to see among ambitious people is they don't look for passion. They just drive, go, you know. They just go, and something happens along the way. Yeah, you want, but while I do not assume that ambitious people wanted to build ambitious, always striving for ambitious goals early on. That's not the case. That's not how it was. I think they just knew that they wanted to do something with their lives, and then acquired skills, and then along the way met maybe a co-founder, or had an interesting idea, and then from there they kept moving. So that is what happens on your on your journey as an ambitious person. It is not well, hey, I'm going to build $1 billion company one day, you know, don't play with me. Like, that's not how it goes. How it goes is you try things, you experiment, you stack up, you stack failures, and then a few years down the road, you look back, you're like, I got somewhere. Huh, I built something from nothing, you know. So that's basically how it is, and yeah. So if you're looking for, your path in life, I think that's what it comes down to. It's trying things out. And one other thing I would like to tell you is that never feel like you have to stick with something if you feel like there's that friction, you know? Like, if you feel like there's friction, if you feel like, I don't think this is my path, there's usually that feeling like, I don't feel like I should be here. I feel like I'm misplaced, you know? I feel like I'm misplaced. I feel like there's somewhere I could do better, you know? So usually you should be heading in that direction. I'll give you an example. So let's say I watch movies a lot, right? Like, if I watch movies a lot, maybe instead of learning, or in school, maybe instead of choosing something like um, carpentry, or I'm trying to find something realistic. Instead of choosing physics, I would rather do marketing, because if I do marketing, I know, well, um, if I do marketing, there's going to be some filming involved. So there's like, I'm not saying you should go to school for marketing or whatever, but I think that's usually, like, there's usually that path, or that trajectory that attracts you, you know, and that is where you have to sort of try and head, and end up somewhere. And one thing that is not talked about enough is how, even if you like something, never expect it to be a straight journey, you know. It's never going to be a straight journey. There's going to be struggles, you know. Every famous actor that you know went through like series or periods of, loneliness and being beaten up by life, or almost being homeless, or so everyone goes through these trials and tribulations, but then it's all about how you overcome and how you get to the other side. So it's yeah, I think a lot of people are going. Yeah, there's quite many stories out there. I'm not going to go through all of them, but another reason why it's very important to find what you like or what you love is, if it's going to be, if you have to be willing to go all in, you know, there have to be a bigger reason you're pursuing something. There have to be a bigger reason of your pursuit. There have to be a bigger reason of your pursuit. Otherwise, you're going to give up. There have to be something. There have to be a bigger reason you're doing something, and I have to break it to you. I think sometimes you make up that reason. You know. Sometimes you just make it up. You're like, well, I'm going to go this way because I do not like my life, and going full force in this direction. And yeah, sometimes you just have to make up your own path and go full force and be like, well, whatever the fuck happens, I'm going to deal with it, but I'm going to be on this path. Another thing that is not that is usually mentioned is having anti goals. So this you might not know what you like, but you know what you don't like. Like, you know, well, I sure as hell do not want to be here, right? Like, I do not know what I want, but I know what I freaking hate. So if you know what you hate, it makes sense having, or what you call, anti goals. Anti goals. You're like, well, I don't know where I want to go, but I know where I do not want to be. And then you do everything you can to align your path with where you do not want to be. So everything else but this. Yep. Yeah, so I think that's what it comes down to. And one point I have to emphasize on is it's never going to be straight. Like, there's no one who comes, like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not going to have a straight journey. You're going to be challenged, and the challenges are basically how you say, well, I actually want this more than anyone, so I have to get it. So the more challenges you can conquer, the more accolades you gain. The more accolades you gain of, well, I deserve this more than anybody. And yeah, that's what I have to say about passion. So see you in the next one. Cheers.